Hey, it's Seeking Vegas Sunrise, and we're out here filming a video for you at Colorado's most haunted location, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado.
It's about 45 minutes west of Fort Collins. Great place to come up during the winter. Ton of tourist stuff here now, even with all the stuff going on. But yeah, it's a real cool hotel. Dumb and Dumber was filmed here. Stephen King's The Shining was, what would you say? Inspired here. We stayed here 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
Had a couple experiences.
Which we'll tell you about a little later in the video.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to take you for a little tour of it though.
Alright, so the true story behind The Shining is that Stephen King came up here on Halloween one year. The hotel used to close for the winter because it would be too snow-packed for people to come up. And he rented out the whole hotel. It was the night before they were about to close. And he stayed overnight, and he actually had some activity, allegedly, in room 217. And that's actually the same room that Jim Carrey tried to stay in when they were filming Dumb and Dumber. But he stayed for 3 hours and then ran out of the hotel screaming, and I believe stayed at a Motel 8. The story behind that is room 217 was haunted by one of the housekeepers from the hotel back when the hotel first started. And she actually fell through the ceiling trying to replace the gas lamp oil and had a heart attack. And she survived, but she actually was given a job for the rest of her life, was guaranteed a job, but is said to haunt that room. And if anybody stays in the room that's not married, apparently she haunts them and tries to separate them. And that's what happened with Jim Carrey when he was filming Dumb and Dumber. Allegedly, he was dating his co-star. So that's one of the stories. An interesting fact, The Shining that was created by Stanley Kubrick, the movie, was not filmed here. It was actually filmed between Oregon and England, and there was a rivalry between Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick, so there were a lot of digs at him in the movie. But then Stephen King decided to recreate the miniseries in the 90s and actually filmed it here. It's actually a great movie, 6 hours long, so make sure you pack your snacks and get some sleep before that one. But it's actually a lot better. It follows the book really closely, and you actually get to see the hotel quite a bit. family. We were staying up here one winter, and we had been exploring the hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning after having several drinks at their world-famous whiskey bar. We were looking for ghosts, and we went to bed. Anthony fell asleep immediately, thanks to the whiskey.
Yep.
I woke him up screaming as I heard the top blanket was actually getting pulled off the bed, and you could feel it too. And then we heard it drag across the floor 3 times. So needless to say, we didn't sleep that night, and we got out of here at 6 o'clock in the morning and haven't stayed since. We're here outside the carriage house, which was featured on Ghost Adventures. It was the storage area for things like mattresses that people died on and various other old hotel furniture, things like that. When Ghost Adventures was here, they had some activity in the building. It's definitely one of the creepier buildings, but as you can see, it is now... Oh, as you can't see, it's now under construction. We'll show you some footage of that. Alright, we're here outside the concert hall of the Stanley Hotel, where lots of famous musicians and comedians have performed, and they have weddings here as well. This is actually the bachelor pad of the Stanley. Back in the day, any single men had to stay here in this building instead of in the main hotel, where only people who were married were allowed to stay.
So we're in front of the Stanley Hotel, staying here with F.O. Stanley. I'm not sure where he's from, the east, mostly the east coast, I think. Got TB, doctors told him to go to higher elevation. He was rich enough, made himself a summer house here. Ridiculous summer house. Invite his friends up here, and the whole 9 yards, spend the summers up here. Another important fact, he did invent the Stanley steamer / carpet cleaning, that whole thing. Fun fact, the Stanley steamer was invented for the reason of getting his friends from Denver up here in less than 3 hours, opposed to the 3 days it would, take to get up here. Yeah. So that wraps up our tour of the Stanley Hotel here in Estes Park, Colorado. Hope you had a good time.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that alert button.
Expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this. I was thinking the same thing. That John Denver's full of shit, man.